Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is it war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one time, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all leave, gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace, all around. Isn't it time for us to stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one earth, with one need, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. All right, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is it war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one time, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace, all around. Isn't it time for us to stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurts, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. All right, peace, peace, together. Peace.
Thank you guys for joining me. Yes, my guy back there is Alien. He's right behind me, guys, tonight. This is my character I made, my puppet. So yeah, I like working as ventriloquist, and so I made this guy up here a couple of years back, and he's fun to work with. Anyways, I thought we had some fun tonight. I wanted to make this into basically a bit of a reading night, psychic night, but also too, we got some really crazy rear end. Whoop, hang on a second. My mic. Oh, there's my mic. Hang on. I'm going to change this up, folks. Something else I forgot to add in. Oh no! Oh no! I forgot about these. I was in a hurry to get here, get in my studio. I knew I forgot something. I bet you I sound really tinny right now in the microphone itself. In the hang on, I'm gonna bring this up. Give me 1 second. Okay, you guys gonna say I can't hear you? Wait, it's coming up. Wait. I'm trying to get this out of this container stuck. There we go. No, you're stuck in there. Microphone. Okay. Here we go. You should be able to hear me now. In the studio, I got a little tiny mic that goes with the cell phone here. Isn't that cool? Little tiny mic. This guy can 30 feet. Absolutely 30 feet. No problem. So I have him clipped on my mic. I got 2 microphones going at the same time. And that's what makes it so fun. Anyways, yeah, I had my mic back there. Sorry, guys. So I've been so busy doing my thing here, getting everything all set up. I've been a long day. busy, long day. So trying to get back here and on time in the studio to get started the show. We are having some pretty phenomenal, I guess to say, I want to talk about a few things in Parliament, our Canadian government. The RCMP now are doing the investigation of many things, corruption with the Liberal Party. And apparently our PM, our Justin Trudeau, is refusing to hand over the documents. What is he hiding? He's refusing. What is he hiding? That's what happens, folks. He's a hiding. That's what happens, is what they do. They like to hide things out and say, I'm not telling you nothing. And then they get caught after, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And that's why he gets in trouble. Anyways, well, he's already in trouble, was in trouble. He's in more and more in trouble. And let's put it this way, the Liberal Party is really in trouble. And so if any of you guys out there are Liberal followers in Canada, you're going to regret it. Not for me, but you're going to find out there's so much exposure, so much corruption. It's really bad, guys. So that's what's going on over there in Ottawa. And also, I want to put a big prayer and call out. There's an RCMP officer that was in Ontario that was shot in the stomach by I guess to say, somebody who didn't belong in Canada. And he was breaking the laws constantly, and he's been arrested and released, and arrested and released, arrested and released. Apparently this guy has a major criminal record. And they don't keep him in jail anymore. They just arrest him and release him, arrest him, release him. Well, I guess he went too far and grabbed a gun and shot a cop. And very fortunately, a good thing was this cop has recovered. He got shot in the stomach. Here's what I'm going to say. Our government is trying so hard for us not to have any firearms in Canada. These firearms are brought in from other countries. They sneak them in, or they're allowed to come in by Liberal acceptance. And then they'll say they'll blame us, Canadians. Oh, it's your fault. You guys are violent. You want to shoot people, blah, 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 blah. And that's what happens. So we get blamed for outside sources that causes trouble. That has to stop. Now, I'm bringing this up for a reason, because they're trying to pass so many, I guess Trudeau's in the big hurry to pass laws to basically keep us from actually sharing information regarding the news media. He wants to shut down any people like me If we talk badly about him or anybody in the Liberal Party or anybody in government, they don't want us to discuss it, period. If we do discuss any kind of politics, the word politic or policing politic, they actually will have us either arrested or take us to jail. Now, in the UK, they're doing that already. In Australia, they're doing that already. People are coming to your house. You make any comments on Facebook, they're coming for you. Comments regarding if you don't agree with the government's doing, they come and arrest you and take you to jail. There are elders that are in wheelchairs. All they live by is sitting behind a computer and just talking to people. And a couple of elders actually had said that they were fed up with the corruption, and they used the word corruption, of the government. Next thing you know, the bobbies show up at the door. Not one, not two, 6 bobbies show up at the door, and they got their guns. And next thing you know, they want to arrest an elder in wheelchair who is on oxygen and take him to jail because he did not agree with the government's doing. And he just basically said that they're corrupted. He's just basically making a statement that the government's corrupted. And so the police didn't like it. So they went to his house and arrested him. Now, they want him to serve 6 months to 10 years in prison for speaking up. The thing is, Trudeau wants to do the same thing. Our government wants to do the same thing. He doesn't want anybody to speak up for the rights of the people. Let me tell you guys something. You have about maybe 30 liberals that are in cabinet, maybe less than that, liberals in cabinet. And they're the ones that are supposed to be disagree to pass bills. But basically, you remember that too, the cabinet has to allow all these bills to be passed by everyone. It has to be counted as being passed. And say 150 to 1 or whatever have you. Trudeau's not doing that. He's not allowing anybody to actually allow them to even vote to do any bill passing. He's just going to pass. He's just going to do the bill, period. Why? Because now he's calling it a war bill. He wants to go to war. He wants to join the Ukraine. He says Canada wants to join the Ukraine, and we're going to go to war and go kill some Russians. What the hell is he talking about? He actually said that in Parliament. They had to bleep him. The Speaker of the House had to mute him constantly. He was being an irrational ass. And he didn't care. And Christopher Freeland's right behind him, and she's going, no. So my camera went in the blitz real quickly. Hope not. Come back. See, when I say something, YouTube loves me. They start to play the game. They start to block me. We can't do that. You can't shut me off, guys. It doesn't work that way anymore. There are certain people right now controlling it. You can't stop us from talking. So what's happening right now is we are starting to say no more. Enough is enough. And that's just the way it has to work. We have to say no more. And people may not realize we are in the millions. We can be in the streets. We can stand up against. The police are actually on our side to stand up for the rights. They're not against us. They're actually saying, like, get your butt out there. They don't care. Some cops are hired that are not even real cops, by the way. They're security guards, and they're just being policed to play the role as a police officer. Some actually are wearing fake uniforms. I've seen it. Security officers were putting on fake uniforms, police officer uniforms, which they're not supposed to do that. It's misrepresentation. That's illegal. But what he'll do is he'll swear them in and say, you're a police officer. And they pretend to be cops. They're not cops. Not whatsoever. They're rent-a-cop. So somebody snuck in the changing room No word of a lie. Somebody snuck into the changing room and watch about a good half dozen security officers take off their security officer or security shirts, whatever, clothes, and put on city police uniforms to pretend to be cops. So they're hired to play the role. You got to remember now, folks, about 80%, 90% of our police officers now in Canada will not work with Trudeau. Will never work with Trudeau. They will not break laws. They really want to stand on our side. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to hire security officers and say, we'll pay you double if you pretend to be an officer. And they're doing this. It may be happening elsewhere in other parts of the world too as well. But this has got to, you got to be aware of this, folks. They're not as strong or they're not as powerful as you may think they are. And also too, anytime any officer comes into your house, you don't have to allow them in. They have no right of entry, none whatsoever. No officer has any right of entry to yeah, I've heard Anne-Marie Holden passed away in her sleep last weekend. Yeah, I knew about it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I know she passed away. Appreciate it to share that. We did serve a little bit of a small little recognition of her last Tuesday night. We had Orange Shirt Day, and we did it at the Friendship Center. Did it the first night of Spirituals Church. So they're going to hold a memorial for her, for Anne-Marie Holden. They'll be holding a service for her on November the 11th or I can't remember. Just go. You have to contact the church and they'll tell you. She was a good friend. I've known her for many, many years, and she was one of my students that I was training to get into the psychic mediumship field. And through the years, she became very successful and very good at it. And I was so impressed with her. Sadly, she passed away in her sleep. And yeah, these things do happen, folks. We just have to go, and why they younger than me. This is why she passed in her sleep. Think about it. Too many of those. And they went along with it. If you want to keep her job, right? And that's exactly, I got so many people, friends that I've met, or I've met, that I know right now, since, I would say a week now, since my last show, I have lost friends. I've lost 8 friends already this week that have passed away suddenly due to that, the snake bites, I call them. And again, everybody, you have to refresh. Just refresh your page, Catherine. I'll check and see if I am being muted. Give me 1 second. I will check. Give me 1 second, guys. That's not right. Let's see. Okay. Nope, I'm good. I'm not muted. They tried. They can't. You may have to refresh your page, Catherine. Whenever I start talking about this stuff, they like to mute people out. They like to say, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't say that." I'm like, guess what? I'm going to say it. Yeah, there are many more that passed from that thing, and I tell people many times this: it was never proven by the WHO to prove that they said it was good. It was and WEF. They all said it was not a cure. Never did say it was supposed to be to fix you. It actually was to remove you. And some people panicked. They didn't want to lose their jobs and lost their lives in Canada. I have a very, very close friend. I mean, he's more like my brother than actually a friend, Dale Haggerty. And he had to follow through with he had a job working as a teacher, and he had to retire because he got very, very sick, and he's stage 4. I can't do anything for him. I want to say there's a way he can be. I can put the CORE on him. Doctor tells him, no, don't do it. We'll take care of it. They won't listen to me. There are ways to fix it, folks, but they don't want to listen to you. They figure that the DOCTOR is God. No, not entirely. They're the ones that were, if they're the ones that said you had to have it, they're the ones that go into jail soon, and they're not going to provincial or federal. They're going to military prison, and they're going to go bye-bye. Sorry, guys, but that's the way it works. They had their goal was to depopulate. They've already taken out over 2 billion people across the world, and Bill Gates his goal was to do another 10 more. Not anymore. They took Bill away. He goes, nope, because he was working with the CIA, the 3-letter word. So he's done. He's gone. So you may see a video of him. But he's not. That's an old one. They're not the real ones are gone. All the bad boys or bad girls are gone. They gone bye. We just have to follow. We just have to deal with it, move on. But we have lost a lot of good people that should never have lost their lives here. And I know very well she shouldn't have left this world. It was too soon. So, and funny, the crazy part of it is, folks, if they have too many snake bites in their body, they cannot cremate them properly, because the cremation, they don't cremate very well. The body won't burn. It because too many blood clots, and it's almost like it clots into a stone. So it's not good. So, and I know she had lost her son, and she misses him a lot, and she was trying her darndest to work with everybody. Lynn Holden was trying so hard to work with everybody, and she's a very giving person. I loved her dearly, because she tries so hard to help people, and she gave up all of herself for everybody. And she was too young to leave. She was still too young. I think she's in her 50s, and she shouldn't have left this world. It was way too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon. So, like I said before, I've lost around 8 friends. About 4 of them are on Facebook that were Facebook friends. Gone. Never expect them that passed away so sudden. They're all says suddenly gone, like heart attack and they're half my age. Guys, like, and there was even a kid, a young boy. It was a mother's son. He was 17, 18. And he said that he was going, if they told him he was going to be in the football team, he had to get another one. So he took that and didn't make it. There was a young girl in the States. She was going to become a nurse, and she wasn't feeling very good that day. And she said she wasn't feeling good. So she went into the hospital. They refused to work on her because they asked her if she was VE'd, and she said no. And they told her that they would not touch her or work on her unless she's been VE'd 3 times. And she said it's not right. So what she had done is she took the V 3 times, okay, that same day. She ended up in the hospital. She almost died. Suddenly got sick with a matter of minutes. Her face turned absolute red, like as if her face swelled up, blistered, looked like as if somebody kicked the living crap out of her. And, she almost didn't make it. and she was doing a video. Her mom and people, I guess, they're reaching out to people all through TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Facebook would actually refuse for her face to be seen and on Facebook, so they kept on trying to block her. Why? Because they don't want to help people that are dealing with what's going on, because they were telling, because what the mother was doing and the other people were doing, they're exposing the forcible V's on the people when they're coming to the hospitals. Are still doing it in the States and in Canada. They're still forcing people. Okay. There's mothers right now to this day, young girls that are actually, young women are actually having babies, and they told them they're not allowed, even to this day, right now in Canada, they're telling them they cannot have a child in the hospital unless they're all completely V'd. And if they're not completely V'd, then they cannot have the baby in the hospital. And if they are V'd, most of the time, the child has stillbirth. They've already lost over 40 plus children in 1 month. 1 month stillbirths after the V'd. Guess what? And this is actually in the Surrey Memorial Hospital. And I'm going to call you out on that, folks. Surrey Memorial Hospital. And they told the families, they're telling the families that the grandparents or nobody is supposed to even come near the child. If the child does succeed, does live, but the child's personality is different. They automatically, as soon as the child is born, they automatically put the V's into the child's arm to hurry it up too. And that child now suddenly has autism. And it cries all the time. Why is it crying out? Even the mother's milk is supposed to continue us. Doctors are telling them, no, don't give her mother's milk. Why? It's not good for them. Bull crap. The mother's milk actually has the colostrum. I know. I'm actually an ex-farmer. I know what colostrum does. It gives all the immunity to the child. So what happens? Then the doctors and nurses now are telling the parents not for the child to even be allowed to be kissed by the parents or by the grandparents or anybody else. Like, you can't kiss a child, you can't hug a child, keep the child away from them. Why? Because if you let other people hold your child, then the child's going to die. What the hell is going on? What they're doing, what your hospitals are doing, they are hiding their mistakes. And so the only way they can hide their mistakes is saying, oh, well, because you kissed a child or you hugged a child, an outsider, so that means that you're the ones that's causing kids to die. No, it's absolute truth. Absolute truth. This is what doctors and nurses are doing right now in our hospitals right now as we speak. I'm not kidding you. This is getting to be ridiculously stupid, and it's going to cause more of a problem. These hospitals need to be sued, and the nurses and the doctors, whoever is actually helping and abating, helping these people or saying these words, they need to be sued and arrested and convicted and charged. I'm not kidding you. This is way too much. So Catherine says in North America, over 50 million severe side effects and deaths. Okay. 50 million severe side effects and deaths because of this. And you see, thing is also, folks, you can fix it. There is a CURE in it. We have it. It's natural, but the hospitals and nurses are saying, no, don't let people like us tell them or show them or give them anything, because they said that's not, it won't work. They don't know because they're told to tell you that. Because in 1938, they passed a law that it's illegal to cure. Okay, their medical society says it's illegal to cure. So when it began in 1938, your doctors are not doing exactly what they're supposed to do. I remember when doctors used to have doctor bags, and their medicines were already in the bags, prepping the medicine for you. So before 1938, they come to your house and they would fix you, and you get better. Now, that's why do you think they made you come to the hospital? With the word hospital in Latin means hospice means dead building of death. Okay, tall, high tall, means hospice means death. So tall building of death. That's all it is. They're not there to fix you. They're there to make sure you don't make it out of the hospital. Why do they give you numbers, not names? Why do they put numbers down there? Patient, so number. Whatever happened to patient, the name, first name, last name? They don't do that no more. They've been doing that for years. Numbers, because you're a number. That's in your social insurance card. You are a number. That's part of your birth certificate. That's your number. You make the money. If you're living, you make the money. If you're dying, they lose money. But after you die, they also get profits too. They get bonuses. Either way, that's how it works. Now, is this going to stop? Yes, it will. It's stopping now very, very quickly, very soon. You will know. November the 5th. Don't forget that date. Remember the 5th of November. Okay, it's important. Everyone, remember that date. You'll be surprised. It's going to be a good one. Very, very good day. So, as I said before, also there was in North Carolina, there was a helicopter pilot. Now, we had Hurricane Helen, did some major destruction in Florida. My prayers are out for all those people that lost their homes and people lost their lives. People did lose their lives, and it actually went all the way down through the area, even to North Carolina, Mississippi, the region. A friend of mine lives in that area, who actually has been an absolute wonderful follower of following our commander in chief every time he does platform, and her area was affected by the storm. And anyways, in one of the areas, there was a helicopter pilot who was actually decided to help volunteer, because a lot of people are volunteering. Those who are able to volunteer, people are donating food. Our good friend called Mountain Mama, in our boots on the ground. We have a page on our Telegram, and we call her Mountain Mama, or she calls herself Mountain Mama. So she's been going out and giving away free pizzas and food and water to people that are close by, wherever she's able to do. She's out there giving people, and she's out there with that, and she's giving people all kinds of stuff and volunteering. But anyways, the helicopter pilot, this guy has a private helicopter pilot, and he decided to fly over to rescue people in the floods. Now, there were families that were unable to reach out from the flood, and they're actually on the roofs of their houses. So the helicopter pilot was picking up the family, the mother, the sons, and the kids, and then the father was the last person. But anyways, at the same time, there was another helicopter that showed up, and not a helicopter, it was actually no, he was bringing his son back, because the son was helping him as well, rescuing the people. And as he was coming down and landing, the fire chief from the fire department in that area told him that he cannot rescue anyone. Why? Now, the guy himself, who's a pilot, he's also ex-police officer, ex-fireman, but he decided to help because he knows how to rescue people. But what happened was, this fire chief told him, if you go out anymore to rescue people, you will be arrested for rescuing people. He wanted him behind bars. Why would this fire chief want no one to be rescued? Why? You tell me. These are people that need help because their homes are being destroyed, flooded, damaged, and these people needed help because they've been on that roof for about 3 or 4 days, no food, no water, and they need help. And this fire department, this fire chief, actually there's 2 fire chiefs, told these guys, the helicopter pilot, not to rescue anyone, to stay put and stay away from these people. Let them deal with their own ways of getting home or getting be rescued. They weren't putting out any, and this is by the orders of Joe Biden. President Biden said, this is President Biden's words. He said, if you're not V'd, you cannot be rescued. Those are his words. I got the video. If you're not V'd, you cannot be rescued. That's what he said. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, I know. They're expecting over 1,000, maybe more. So you're right, Corlin. There's over 500 body bags have been used so far. There are people floating down, and they're now. Here's the crazy part too. I watched on the video. There's actually alligators swimming down the middle of the freaking cities. Okay, they're swimming down in the middle of the cities. Like, what the hell? That's how high the water table had come. So people are not just not drowning. People are not because they can't get rescued, the windstorms and that sort of thing from the hurricane, but they're also the alligators are taking people down. They're climbing on the roofs of the house because the house is the flood, the waters have gone that water table has gone that high, and they're climbing up on the roof. This is worse than you think. There's lots of alligators, guys. And you think you got it hard? You're going to have to make sure you got some darn good weapons or some now here's the thing. I'm going to say something here. At least people in the States have guns by their sides if possible. Sometimes may have firearms to protect themselves if that's by some chance someone likes to either try to rob them while the storm is on, or because actually there were some buildings that were abandoned because people had to run away, and then all of a sudden these thieves started to show up and they were robbing people's houses during the storm, and they got caught. Some of them are actually filmed and show them that actually they're pulling up to the house, breaking into the house and stealing stuff. At the same time, these kids don't care. They're doing it, right? So, anyways, this Hurricane Helen is this name Helen should be called Hurricane Hal. I think they said it's one of the biggest storms they ever had, ever. That was the worst, right? So anyways, I wanted to share that with you folks, that it's important that everybody needs to know. Catherine says there's a reason alligators are brought to the USA. Think as to why the deep starters introduced them reptilians in certain areas, even under New York City, etc. Go. Just think, folks, as it is shocking. Yeah, it's the reason they're brought into the US. No, alligators have always been here. They weren't brought in. I don't think so. Mind you, I would not know if they're brought in or not. Now, I know in the Congo, in the deeper jungles, like say Africa and that sort of thing, that was where the original alligators were. Now, mind you, people were bringing alligators and crocodiles as pets, right? And as young ones, and they brought them in as pets growing up through the years, and they would put them in zoos through the years. So that's very possible. It's like your snakes. People are bringing all kinds of snakes in, and that's where Florida got. All of a sudden, Florida got overrun by snakes everywhere. So why? Because they brought them in from another country. They thought they're great for pets, but when they got too big, let them go. Sometimes out the toilet, you name it, wherever they're going to go, let them go free. Oh yeah, go free. Next thing you know, they're breeding. They somehow meet each other up somewhere. And there apparently someone said there's a big, huge, well, maybe it was like 10 years ago or so, that a major flood in Florida, storm. And I guess some of the areas got flooded so bad that people abandoned their town. And so then the snakes moved in. And a lot of people go down there, and if there's an overpopulation of snakes, they go down there and they would rescue these snakes, not rescue to keep, but rescue to kill. They get paid per snake, just like an alligator. So that's why these people have these shows, and the pythons are their worst. Well, they're not killers, but the worst of it all. It's a good thing you don't get like an overabundance of rattlesnakes. Hurricane Andrew released the horrific pythons purposely. Purposely? Wonder who Hurricane Andrew was. But yeah, there actually was a python center. I think it was a reptilian center where there were snakes and there were different kinds of lizards, that sort of thing in this building. It was actually a big, huge, like it was actually like a zoo. And suddenly there was a storm, it got flooded, and that's what happened. It went right through the whole building and people abandoned it, left it, and then all these guys got out. So we had the same thing here in Surrey. There was a lady who actually decided to open up a reptilian center in Surrey, outside of town here between Surrey White Rock. And she opened up a big, huge reptilian center. And it was the size of, let's say, of a greenhouse business. They're like, oh my God, how would that be? Say, not 50 feet, bigger than that. I would say 80 feet across. A good sized house, maybe two houses size, full of average homes. They would actually full of reptiles, everything from, you name it, snakes, iguanas, you name it, everything. What happened was we didn't have the flood. We had somebody actually set the building on fire from the outside. They torched it. And what they had to do, or somebody had to do, somebody broke in first. They released all the animals, the cages, then they pushed all the tanks over, and then they burned the building down. And it ended up becoming a front page news. It was a big story. And they're saying, oh, well, vandalisms. I knew who did it. Again, I suspect that I know who did it, because the young lady who, I can name her name right now, I can't forget her name ever, because I remember her. And I was actually rescuing frogs many years ago, because these frogs were actually had so much oil and gas in their system, because people are pouring gasoline and oil down the draining system, which leads out to the salmon run, and illegally. So I was out there and I was rescuing the tadpoles, and some of the salmon and some of the trout, and I was rescuing some of those little guys, and I took them home and I was raising them until I put them through a flusher. I make a little area that has three different types of tanks. When they go from one stage, second stage, third stage, then once they're healthy, then I would release them. When she found out, the woman who owned this reptilian center, when she found that I was doing rescuing, she was so mad at me. And my wife can tell you this. She called the police to have me arrested for illegally rescuing reptiles and fish. She wanted me behind bars because she wanted to be the exclusive only person to do it. That she's the only because she's, well, I got a license. You don't have a license. You have to have a permit. You got to have this, and this. You're going to have all this, blah, blah, blah. And I go like, no, I don't. I can rescue as many as I want. I know very well people know that I do release them, catch and release, and you can't do nothing about it. She tried so hard to get me in trouble with the police, to have me put behind bars. She was so, and I had the cops on my door, I don't know how many bloody times. And I told them, I said, no, you can't. I said, I'm rescuing the frogs, I'm rescuing the salmon, I'm rescuing the fish. Whatever's there, I try to rescue, and I put them back in once they're back into a proper location where the water is fresh and they have a better, cleaner environment. And so I invited the cops in to have a look at my tanks, and they said they were actually quite shocked. They said it was one of the nicest setup that I had, that most people ever have, and that they said, we got nothing against this. This is great. So she even called the animal rescue, or the animal rescue, and she sent them to my house. Well, what they don't know, or she didn't know, one of my very close friends actually was working for animal rescue. So it gave him an excuse to come to my house. What's going on? Hey, we got a complaint. What's your complaint? Oh, they said you got you're capturing frogs. Oh, capturing frogs illegally. Okay. Catching lizards illegally. We don't have lizards here. And he says, I know. I'm capturing salmon illegally. I'm catching. Do I have a license for that? Like I said to Mike, really, Mike? Well, I have to do my job. Mike. Okay, you want to see my license, Mike? And she's with him, right? And she's just mad, like. And I said, yeah, I got my license. Mike, do you want to see my license, Mike? You want to see my tanks? And Mike says, well, I've seen your tanks. Yeah, but she hasn't seen my tanks. I can invite her in and have a look at them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them. I know what you're going to do. You're like, she was just, yeah, she was being a dumbass. She was like, her chin was just shaking. And she was basically muffling under her breath. She was trying so hard, and she'd swing her hand like this, and you, and you're on his side. You're on his. How dare you? You're on his side because you're friends. You know each other, don't you? I said, well, yeah, because I do rescue work. I call him up all the time. We've become friends. That's not right. You shouldn't be friends. Like, why? So that's what happens, right? So Catherine Frank says, think land grabs, remove the native wild animals so less food for people, destroy the land, then land grab, right now, land grabs in North Carolina, etc., where the lithium minerals and highly valued source of electronic high quality crystals, etc. This is all weather fair to remove people permanently, and the evil is doing everything they can do to this pure evil. You're right. You're absolutely right, because we're dealing with Jasper National Park, Jasper in Alberta. Jasper had the DEW burn down the forest right into the city. Half the city got burned down because the DEW hit it. Well, you wonder who pushed the button, right? And because they know exactly where the minerals are, the lithium. But they're not going to tell you that they're looking for lithium. They want it to make you think that you can sell. To go ahead and say, well, you know what? This government official is going to come over and say, oh, we'll buy your land, and you sell it to us of land value price, fair price, and you buy the land, or you sell the land to us, and then you'll be happy. I tell people this was intentional, folks. They want to make sure that you don't own anything. Don't forget, remember, that's what they said. You don't have to own anything. You'll be happy. So the land grabbing is because the reason why they're burning out, the reason why a lot of our towns are burning, including other parts in BC here, they were burning places. They're blaming the railroad. They're blaming this and this. It has nothing to do with that. There's lithium buried under those areas because these bad guys want the lithium. The lithium has more value than gold, and they want it. And the only way they can do it is by getting rid of the people. They had the same thing in Paradise, California. Paradise, California had a huge amount of lithium. Actually, was actually a cave there under the town, under the city, and they burnt the whole city down. Even my good friends that had their car burnt down or their car melted. Now, you can't burn a car at 3,000 degrees with a regular fire. A regular fire does not burn that hot. This is a white fire, and the crazy part of it was every tree never burned. All the green trees never burned. Well, what's suspicious, folks? DEW, direct energy, you know what? WEAPON. And that's exactly what caused all this. They did it on purpose, and I've got photographs galore showing DEWs hitting locations across the world. If they want something bad enough to take something from you, they did the same thing in Saskatchewan. Now, my good friend Dale Haggerty, who actually is a school teacher there, half the town where he was living living there temporarily as a teacher, that half town got burnt. Why? Because there's a lithium mine in there. Guess what? The Christopher Freeland, who is the assistant prime minister, she went all the way down to Saskatchewan just to have a look, and she was willing to buy the land because of the lithium. She didn't tell them there's lithium there. I'm willing to buy the land. What did the town do? This is for mostly First Nations people in the area. They said, no, we will redevelop it ourselves. We don't need you. That's exactly what they try to do. They try to get you off the land. And it's the same thing in the States. Anytime that there's something they want, they did the same thing in Ohio. They're trying to tell the farmers in Ohio that they're not allowed to have water or to give any water to their cattle because the water, they said that the even this is the farmers in Ohio own their own springs, but the town or the city, the district of Ohio is telling them they're not allowed to give their own water to their cattle, and they're wanting them to actually they have to have a permit to have water. They have to have a permit for each cow to have water. It's getting crazier. They wanted to control the farmer and told him, well, look, if you can't feed your farmer, you can't give your cattle water, we'll buy the land because there's lithium there. And there's more to it, folks. That's exactly what your corrupt governments are doing. Okay. They're trying everything they can to get money because they're struggling not having any money. They're trying to hang on to whatever's left. Okay. And our commander-in-chief is going after their ass and taking them right away. So the thing is that you need to know this to know the truth. It's very important to know this. There's a reason why if you say, well, it's suspicious. Why did, was it Lillooet? Is it Lillooet? I think so. That actually half the town got burned. Gee, I wonder why. Right? And they blamed the fire. They blamed the railroad. The railroad had nothing to do with it. You don't start a spark and the whole town burns down. Give me a break, guys. A little spark, okay? Oh, a candle started to fire and everybody burned in Fort McMurray. A little candle. Bullshit. Fort McMurray in Alberta. Well, the whole town burnt in Slave Lake in Alberta. Half the town burnt. Who started it? And everybody, and they said, well, the forest fire started. Who started the forest fire? In the middle of winter, who started the forest fire? Someone said they saw a beam of light that shot down from the sky and hit some trees and started a fire. Light, not lightning. Light, direct light. It went, poof, that was it, boom, and you hear it start. All you heard was smack, snap, bang. Next thing you know, it's on fire. Then the DEW hit the town and hit a house and started a fire. And someone said, they had a candle. There's no candles in the house. This guy who was a homeowner never had any candles in his house. But he said, oh, no, you must have had a candle. That's why the house burned down. They're trying to convince him you had a candle. So they're blaming him that half the town got burnt because of a candle. No, the same thing happened to a high-rise hotel in Vancouver that it burnt down suddenly. And a good friend of mine, her auntie died, perished in that hotel. They said, a candle burnt that one down too. The building was built of concrete and bricks. How did it burn down with one candle? And how is it that how did the concrete melt? How come it melted? Go figure that one out. All right. So there's my niece. So let's go, White Wing. Hey, girl, how's it going? Are you still in Vegas? Or have you moved? Let me know. How are you doing? Nice to see you. So, and then, okay, I mentioned Vegas. They had a major flood down there. Gee, I wonder why. Major flood in Vegas. I mean, I'm talking about flotation devices. Right? You moved to Texas. Good girl. Feeling better about it? I hope you did. Texas actually had a flood there too, by the way. Yeah, they had a flood up in that area too. I'm glad you moved to Texas. I'm doing very well, thank you, my girl. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, so what I'm doing tonight, folks, I want to do psychic readings, and I'm opening the phone lines 360-566-2875. You fell in love? Well, my goodness, it's about time you fell in love. Who's the guy? Give me his first name. He's from Georgetown, Texas. Well, now you got now you got a Georgetown slang Texas accent. Joseph or Yosef. Oh, that's a good name. Good name. I'm glad you fell in love. It's about time you got somebody in your life. Yeah, cool. I'm very proud of you. Congrats, my girl. I'm glad you got someone in your life. Yosef, yeah. They have a silent J, Yosef. Yeah. Yeah. No more Vegas for you. You're done. Good thing. So I'm glad you're doing well. Are you up in the are you doing powwows up there in Texas? Let me know. Yep, 1,000%. Good. Good. I'm glad you are. Congrats, girl. Pretty soon you'll be settling in, and you went this weekend. Okay. Cool. I'll be thinking about you. I always have, actually. So I always wanted to find out how you've been doing. So I'm glad you actually came in the chat room. I just want to find out how you've been doing, where you've been at. Yeah, your dad doesn't say much. He's busy doing his thing, working, I guess. So I'm glad. Yeah, good. If anybody ever actually is in the area of Texas, go visit this girl. She's a wonderful young lady. You can always let everybody know what area of Texas you're going to be at the powwow, and I can always share that with everybody for you. Yes, his name is Alien. Yes, I call him Alien, and actually he's a surfer. He likes to be a California surfer. This is him. So, I have this guy down here. This is my little trigger, so he can talk up here. So, how you doing, dude? Nice to see ya. There she is. Look at her, California. So, yeah, I made him 2 years ago. Put them all together. Give him some sandals. Put him some surfing clothes. He's a surfer. He even got his own little alien necklace over here. And he's got, and his rocks and stones are made of asteroids, like part of the asteroid that fell to the Earth. So they made it into balls and made him. So I'm working on making other guys. Yeah. I got all kinds of little characters like I make. One of my favorite guys is Gory, the Forest Goblin. I got him. I got quite a few I make for puppets. I got some I'll be having them for sale. I got some I'll have for sale coming up soon. Doing an event in the next few weeks. I'm doing a psychic fair. And I'll have some of the characters come with me and most likely sell them. And I got some I'll keep just like because they got the Halloween coming up at the end of the month. And this Sunday, I'm turning 68. Yes, my birthday is 60. I'll be turning 68 this Sunday, the 6th of October. The 6th. Here's the cool part, folks. Anybody who's actually is in the month of Libra, It's going to be an absolute crazy month. Anybody's born in the month of April, from the 1st to the 30th, you guys are going to be absolutely blown away of your success in your life every day. It's great. So, and also this is the age of Aquarius. So it's going to be a lot of new great things happening for everybody. Looking forward to having things do well. Cool. Yeah. Still working on making more guys. Like I said, I made him 2 years ago. He's got flexible arms. He's got his own sandals down here. Surf every day, and I can make a handle for his hand to move like so. And also you can close off his fingers. They can bend. I got wires in the hand, so you can bend them and you can carry things. I had it actually holding on to a cup, and he can hold whatever he wants. So I've actually did a video on this guy, and he had a silver cone hat. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Oh, thank you, Chantel. Appreciate it. So we're doing right now. If anyone's actually interested calling in, you're more than welcome to. I'll give you guys the phone number, 360-566-2875. I talk so fast. That's the radio in me. I've been doing radio broadcasting for years. 360-566-2875. Call in. You want to get a reading, you're more than welcome to. Ask a question or anything else on top of the subject. If you want to talk about something else, you're more than welcome to. I'd like to give people a lot of enlightened things that are going on around this world. Some new things are happening in our country, and even predictions. I like to make predictions and say what's going to happen next, because people are asking me, what's going to happen next? We are things are still in play. We are doing better than most people will realize. It's absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, we have been busy. Let's see, I got my UFO cup over there in the corner. My plant. That's the only plant I got in my room. I can't even have a plant out in the open in the living room because the cats will eat the bloody thing. So that's the only little guy. I got him when he was really tiny. And so I put a crystal inside of him, inside the pot next to him. And next thing you know, he started growing, like growing up. And these guys are healing medicine. Okay. That's healing medicine right there. You just if you got to cut your finger, you just take a snip. Those are the aloe plants. Okay. Aloe vera plants. And you can take a snip of it. Take a snip of it. And if you cut your finger and just take the juice and squeeze the juice on your cut finger. Or you can make a drink out of it and you drink it, and it's really good for your digestion. So that's why aloe vera is very important. My mother had one. Oh my God, this thing was huge. The stalks were like, one stalk was like this long, that thick. I mean, that thick. But she had it for years. As healthy as it could be. But mind you, the Alberta dirt is better than some other dirts. But mine's in a tiny pot. I think if I put mine into a bigger pot, that would start to really flourish even more. It's time for a change, I think. It's gotten bigger, so it may not have enough room for roots. So, yeah. Sabah Chaudhry, how you doing? Nice to see ya. I have the lines open, folks. 360-566-2875. You guys want to call in, ask a question. Now, Rachel asks me, do you think Amazon will go on strike? Thank you for your information. Much love. Amazon go on strike? Actually, Amazon is in deep caca right now. They've already let go about 30,000 employees, and because they're going basically major robots. Someone actually did a video of the factory inside, and there's lesser employees on the floor now. There's more robots going up and down. They've actually made them. There's like these little line grids, and these boxes are being moved around and stuff, and they're moving so fast it's hard to keep up with them. So there's a few people that are able to sort out the boxes, packages, that sort of thing, but they still have people still have to package the packaging. So I think what's left now are the packagers. People actually have to get the stuff off the shelf and pull it down and package it and send it out. That's pretty well it. Now, are they going to go on strike? Most likely it will. Amazon, like I said, Amazon's in trouble. Amazon's going. Actually, I will say this: Amazon's going to go through it's actually gone through a little bit of competitiveness right now because Temu actually is beginning to outmarket Amazon, and Amazon is absolutely pissed about it. Now, I don't know who Temu is. I don't know that well, but I'm hearing stories that Temu is beginning to outclass Amazon, and they're only a small company. But what Temu does, and I did the research. I found out later that what Temu is doing is they go to these auctions, and they will buy out whatever products are available, whatever people are selling out that don't have in the market anymore, and then they just advertise it and put it online. Here's what's available. Or they will have companies that make the product that are the suppliers, so they have the middleman. So Temu is supplying, and they'll take what Temu does is they make the lowest offer as a wholesaler, lowest offer to buy whatever all the product of, or be prepared to buy from the company. Anytime you want to make an order, the middleman is doing the orders, boom, boom, boom. And they're saying they can do the same day service. If you're in the same, like for example, if it's Temu's in the States, they can do the same day service of the product in the same day. I only ordered one thing once from Temu because I wanted to find out if they're for legit. I spent $20. It was there the next day at my house. Now, apparently, I did not know there's Temu Canada, and I thought they're coming from the States. Boom, they're here. But there was no, like Amazon has its own trucks that will deliver to your door. These other guys have their own certain delivery drivers too that come to your door to drop it off or in the mailbox, or whatever. But they let you know that, hey, there's a photograph of it. They've already came and dropped it off. So they make sure that you got it. They don't just wait for freaking weeks and say, well, I didn't make it there and package is gone. They'll photograph and make sure they know that they did drop it off. All McDonald's are going to be closed. Found human in there. Yes, that was 2 years ago. Colorado. Yeah, Colorado. Our commander-in-chief's military went down, and they went into there was actually people who did some undercover photography, video, and it was gruesome. So the military came in and arrested everybody, and they shut down the whole factory. This factory was 5 square miles. They shut it all down completely, and then they cleaned it all up everything, and it also led to underground tunnels that were under the factory of McDonald's. So they went down, and there's underground tunnels there. There's, I'm not sure how many, 4 or 5 of them, and which are being brought up, and that's why you didn't have any homeless people in the street. The homeless people were being brought there. But anyways, it got cleaned up. So basically, there's no more HUMAN any longer being served. And they actually, the ongoing, I'm not gonna say it's a joke, but the ongoing number when McDonald's says over 2 million being served, it had nothing to do with the customers. They're talking about people. That's what they said. According to our commander-in-chief, they were using those numbers, calling 2 million being served as in on your plate. So they're trying to teach us cannibalism, and that got stopped. They were doing it for over 20 plus years without us knowing about it, but it didn't go to every store. It didn't go to every part of the world. Most of the U.S., parts of Canada, but they got caught. They were trying to reach out to every McDonald's because apparently some of the people that did the investigation and took the meat to a lab, and the one in Lethbridge, they took to the lab. There's a research station lab, in Lethbridge, Alberta, and they took it to the lab and they found traces of human DNA in it, and they said, no, shut her down. So they shut down McDonald's. They found so there's traces of, and there's actually traces of human DNA in Surrey. And that was up on 152nd. That got shut down. In fact, they arrested the owner. Well, not the owner, sorry, the people that are connected to the ownership that sold it to the owner. The owner had no idea what was going on because they're trusting it. So they go after the people that own the corporation, and they went after them. So yeah, they were trying to teach people cannibalism, and that got changed. In fact, Zuckerberg, I'm bringing his name up, him and his wife, they had 2 cafes in New York called Cannibal Cafe, and they were trying to do the same thing. They're doing the same movement as McDonald's, and that got stopped. So, and that was introduced about 10 years ago or so or less. That got stopped, got shut down. So there's a lot of, that's why there was actually a fellow who actually was a chef, and he actually was a food guru, and he traveled across the world. You may remember his name. And he was testing all the food around the world. Well, he actually exposed the cannibal companies, the corporations. He exposed them, and then the next thing you know, he's dead. He didn't commit suicide. He was murdered. So, or was he? And so he had to fake his own death, and he'll be coming back out again. But he exposed them. And so he went into hiding. And he'll be back, and you get to hear more about he's actually going to expose all that's going on. So, yeah, or what happened in the past. But we are a lot healthier now than we used to be, than we were then. It's getting better for all of us. I'm so happy because our skies are getting cleaner. There's no more. If you do see a chemtrail, it's not the chemtrail as in chemical. It's natural organics, and our commander in chief's taking care of all that. So you notice that your oxygen's better. There's lesser people going in to have breathers. Oxygen is being lesser used on machines because the skies are not like it used to be. I tell people, stand in the sun, be in the sun. When the sun sets and the sun rises, stare at the sun for about 10, 15 minutes, and your eyes will improve. Okay. But before it becomes too intense, like they always say, do about 15 minutes before the sun's setting and stare at the sun, and guarantee you're not going to go blind. A lot of people are actually going back because we used to sunset. People used to actually watch the sun set because your eyes were improving. Why people wear glasses? Because they're told. People never wore glasses centuries ago because the skies were clear. We had all the wonderful lives of eating whatever we want, and there was nothing was fake, no genetically modified foods. It was all organics. So everybody was healthy. And most people, 90% of the people were skinny. Why? They're healthy as all could be. If you look at some of the old black and white movies, if you look at the old photographs or videos that go back and say early 1900s, early mid 1900s, even before that, you'll seldom ever see a fat person, a large person. Seldom at all. They were always lean and healthy, and they ate lots. That's why the parents always believe that you can have second helpings, because and I was a kid, I had second helpings and eating, and I was never gaining weight. I was healthy as all could be on the farm. Move, and I just go. When you're not as active, you put the weight on. And all the crap that you eat out there in that store, the first thing they do in the store is you walk in the store, and all you see, folks, it's in the very beginning of the store. It's not fruit. It's not vegetables. It's candies. It's chips. It's all that second stuff. That's all that genetically modified. Why are they pushing genetically modified in front of you? It should be all of your fruits and vegetables. It should be that's your natural food. That's your health food in front of you. Make your junk food as secondary or third in the back. If anybody wants chips, go over there and get them. Make it go walk to it. But anything regarding as far as health food is concerned, it's what you want is what's in front of you. But also too, what I was reminded, there's actually there, even though they do have organic food or organic fruit or vegetable spots, sections in some of these large corporate stores, look above the sprayers. And above the sprayers, if you see a bottle and it has a chemical running tube that's spraying all the spray out of the over those fruits and vegetables, that are mostly the vegetables, that is a chemical. Why are they saying, telling children don't even drink that or don't even touch it, and that it's poisonous to the kids, and yet they're spraying it on our organic food? Who's doing that? That's called a preservative. They're actually spraying a preservative on organic, even though it's supposed to be called organic. You don't allow anyone to spray a preservative on an organic. That is wrong. That's no longer called organic. That means it's genetically modified again, because you're covering up this, right? So I tell people, make darn sure that you look carefully. If your food is if your food is not genetically modified, if it's actually organic, great. Look up above. If there's a shelf in that major corporate store, if it's spraying it, say your celeries, your all vegetables, greens, if they're spraying something, where's that sprayer coming from? What's on top of it? If there's any bottles that are spraying some chemical and it says poison, like a poison, it's a preservative, and that's not healthy for you. That actually causes cancer. So, and if it does happen, folks, when you do get home, get some vinegar and baking soda, and you mix that together in a bowl with water, and you, like, for example, fruits or vegetables, wash them with that, and that takes all the chemical off, and actually you'll see the solution, and then all the chemical solution will come right out, and you'll have a better, cleaner material foods. Your food will always taste richer once you get, because I bit into a apricot. Was apricot? No, I got an apricot. I bought some apricots and I bit into one. I went, oh, my mouth stings. And it says organic. Like, what the hell? Mouth is stinging. That shouldn't be not right. So I took some vinegar and soda, baking soda, and I mixed it with water and washed it first. Then I took a bite. That stinging taste went away. What you're biting into, the stinging taste, actually is a chemical. That's a preservative. Your mouth should never burn when you eat a fruit or a vegetable. It should never burn. Ever, unless you're eating a hot pepper, but that's even after effect, not before. So your whole mouth should not burn inside. That's basically the chemical. And why are they using still these chemicals, right? And they're still using that same spray they spray on the grass. They call it that weed killer. Well, number one, that causes major cancer, and you don't ever spray that stuff on the grass, especially if you have dogs or cats outside, or any animals that walk bare feet, with feet, because once they lick themselves, that's why does your animal's lifespan become very short? Okay, why do they get? Okay, it's because they're using the chemical and spraying it into the grass. Don't ever use that stuff. Ever. You don't have weeds. Here's the problem with people believe. You do not have a weed in your grass. You do not have a weed in your garden. The government calls it a weed, W-E-E-D. Why? Because the word weed means not to eat. Why? Because it is a medicine. Everything in your ground below your feet is medicine. Okay? I'm telling you. And it works. Now, Chantel's asking, what is good to help with with sleep if you have problems? There is actually a natural herb that helps you with your sleep. I don't have it with me, but it's in my shelf. But you can always text me, Chantel, and I can send it to you. And it does help you rest well. Again, it's natural. It's part of us. It's basically, as we get older, we have harder times sleeping. So if you have a hard time sleeping, it's because stress can be one of the major sleepless nights. If we allow stress to overcome us, that's something you have to work on. Like, basically, my mother always taught me one thing when I was a kid growing up. She says, don't worry about today, wait till 8 in the morning. Like, same as eating, she says, eat today and don't worry about tomorrow. Because they want you to not to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just eat today and don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow is not there. We have no idea what's going to happen the next day. But people will always worry about the next day, because they're taught that way by their parents or grandparents. Oh, what's going to happen the next day? I'm so worried. What's going to happen next? And I tell people, don't worry about the next day. When it comes, it comes. And when you find out how you need to prepare for it, we'll know what to do. Let's see. Linda says, one order received, one was delivered to the wrong house. Picture sent was not us and no idea where house was. They made good, but one item sold out. Depends on which courier they use. Now, what are you talking about? Okay. Oh, by the way, before I forget, a lot of people are actually having internet problems. I was having internet problems for about 3 or 4 days as internet service. And it was not my internet, is because of the storms and the after effects. We actually had last week, we had an earthquake here in BC. And that earthquake or earth tremor was again caused by what's happening underground. And that is, we're cleaning up the underground tunnels. And there's underground tunnels. And actually, the major part of it was hit on Vancouver Island, Victoria. Well, there's an underground tunnel under the island, folks. I'm not kidding you. Okay. You think the island's an island. Well, actually, it's deeper than you think, the land. And underground tunnel way under the city. And they basically blew up some bad people in there. They closed it off. The people went bye-bye. And that's why we had an earth tremor. So it's not you. It's not the fault of Mother Earth. It's because they had to get rid of some bad people. And they blew up the tunnels. Like, that's it. Gone. No more. You can't go in here anymore. Okay. Hey, you finally got in. Okay, your ratio, awesome information. Thank you. Most welcome. Thank you. Well, thank you, Heidi. Yeah, people trying to get in, trying to find me. I'll tell you one thing too, guys. Facebook is playing a game right now. They are limiting me to look on the wall. I am only allowed to see 8 things on the wall, 8 reviews on a wall. They won't let me keep on spinning to check and see what's going one after the other, how most people do when you open up your phone and you check and you're spinning what else is happening. Facebook won't do that because they are, how do you say it? Told me that I'm limited. I'm only allowed this, this, and this, and this. Why? Because you're a bad boy. Okay. What did I do wrong? Well, you're handing out misinformation. No, I'm not. You are. So I sent them a little nasty note. And I said, you guys are stalkers. It's illegal to be stalkers. And you're using this fact checker on me, and you're stalkers. You're hire stalkers to follow me and other people in the Facebook room, Facebook pages. It's illegal. You are stalkers. You are telling us we can or cannot put on the wall. There's no rules what you cannot do or say. You're telling us what you're just making your own opinion, and your opinion is not by the person who owns the company, because I already know that that person who owns the company is not here anymore. So the CIA are either in control of it, or some other hired to be wannabe people are going, well, we don't like what you're writing, so we're going to get rid of you. We'll just stop you from doing this, stop you from sharing. And that's what they do. Like to shut it down, because I used to have folks when I was live on my own show here, as I am on Facebook as well as YouTube. Thank you guys for being on both of them. I would have over 100 or so people in the chat room. Ever since I've been doing all these shows, I've been getting warnings. Keep it down, or you're going to lose more viewers. Keep it down, you're going to start losing more viewers. Keep it down, and start losing more viewers. Ended up being where I wasn't even allowed to do Facebook at all, period. And they stopped me from using Facebook for 3 months. They even threatened me as far as kicking me out of Facebook. And I says, well, then screw you. I'll let everybody know. I work in the news media. I'll let everybody know what you're doing, and then I will sue you. And you don't want to mess with me, because when I come after you, I'm going to come after you with some friends that are connected to the military, and they would love me to step forward and say, I'll ask for advice. Say, what do you think I can do? And they'll tell you. because they're not going to, thing is that they even trying to do, they tried to do the same thing with President Trump. They tried to even stop him from actually sharing anything on Instagram and, or talk about where he's going to be at any location on before it became X'd. He was everywhere trying to tell people what's going on. They didn't like it because he was Trump, and because they're picking on a name that they themselves don't like, because he was calling out people for their BS and lies and breaking the laws. And so they didn't like it, so they kicked him out. And there were other people that tried to come in and do the same thing, and they kicked them out. And some people I've met or know of, they themselves actually did have Facebook years ago, and they start noticing the corruption, and they just said, you know what, we're out of here. I'm not going to come in here on Facebook anymore. I'm shutting down my page. If I'm trying to find them, I can't find them. I can't find the people that I used to know years ago that we used to always have fun chatting back and forth. And we had lots of people in the chat room, just went crazy, loved it. But what happened was that Facebook was telling me what I can or cannot do, what I cannot say. They listen to your algorithms, folk. They listen and watch your algorithms. And they also now have an AI computer. And the AI computer now is looking for code words. Certain words you say, they will not accept it. They'll just basically block that out, or they will mummify it. Okay. They would actually say, oh, it can't get through, or we lost you, or it'll say Facebook is moving slower. It's moving slower. The reason why it's moving slower is because they can't catch the wording I'm saying that they can't find. They can't. So if I'm spelling something, they can't figure out the spelling. All they know is they want to hear the word, right? So certain things I use. So if I were to talk about snake bites, it's about what's in the arm. Okay, so those are my code words, but yet they won't even know what the hell I'm talking about. And I could say right now, they still won't know because they don't match it up. What they're looking for is using the specific words that most people do. And yeah, Heidi said she was back in jail again. Facebook be out later tonight. Laugh out loud. See, Heidi, it's not, they put you in jail and out of jail, in jail and out of jail. If it ever happens again, Heidi, just use this. Tell them this. Under military code 13919, under military code 13818 and 13812, and show that to them, send it to them on the military code. You cannot stop me from what I'm talking about. And if you continue on blocking me and kicking me out in Facebook jail, I will send this to the commander in chief, and then they'll come pay you a visit. Guess what? Happens for me. They block me, I don't know how many times. YouTube, I've been kicked out. They sent me a sting and say, you can't do this no more. We're kicking you out. You can't do this. I sent them a little message. Next thing you know, I'm back in again. Like, okay, it's working. Because they cannot take your freedom of speech away from you. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to take your freedom of speech. They're trying to tell you what you can or cannot say. And no government, here's what really gets me, and I want to say this to you guys, whether it's Canada or United States, either Canada or United States or anywhere across the world, when you are saying something or writing something in your chat rooms, any kind of social network, anything you're saying or doing, it's called freedom of speech. Okay, I don't care if you got freedom of speech in or not in your bills. And whether it's American bills, Canadian bill, that sort of thing, charter rights, we have our charter rights, okay? It's still freedom of speech. Now, here's what happens. What the government's trying to do is take your freedom of speech away from you, okay? That's what they're doing right now. They're trying to take your freedom of speech away from you. So they, even though, to clarify this, whenever we elect a politician to represent us, okay, whether it's conservative, liberal, you name it, NDP, or even if it's a social network or social politician, a representative of Republic and or whatever you want to call the guys, okay, those people you vote for are supposed to be representing you. Okay, they're supposed to be helping you. Once they get elected in, next thing you know, they're telling you what to do. Now, why are they? They're not advising you. They're saying, "Oh no, you can't say that." Excuse me. I voted you in to protect, to protect us, but also to speak for us, but also, to help us with the free speech, that we have this bill that protects us free speech, right? Oh no, you can't say that. Why? All of a sudden they're telling you can't. And then next thing you know, if you keep telling them what this is what you want and they don't want to represent you anymore, then they'll threaten you and tell you, if you continue on saying things that you want to say, then we'll have you arrested and have you taken to jail. Why all of a sudden the politicians that you've elected in government now threatening you, telling they're going to take you to jail because now you believed, you thought they're working for you. Do you understand? What they're doing, they're not working for you. They work for themselves. Why? I'll tell you why. Not one politician generationally has ever been voted in by the public. The citizens of any country have never, ever been ever voted in. It's the Freemasons that make a decision who's going to be next in line. Most of them are actually related to each other by some means, a cousin, long distance, whatever have you. Those guys are being brought in for a reason. You think that those polls gets them in the door because if you think you voted for them, and then even they're saying, "Oh, well, you vote for me and you'll get in," and they'll get in, or I need to go to the polls and vote for this person. They don't give a rat's butt about your poll. Okay, you're up the wrong pole. Okay, don't when you touch that pole, they can't you want to touch that person 10-foot pole. They won't listen to your use your pole. They don't even pay attention to the counts of votes that you make. They couldn't care less. All those boxes that are collected for the votes. Why do you think there was so much corruption at the time? Why did Trump not carry on being president second term? Why? Because they made sure that he didn't. They were using dead people's names from cemeteries to make Joe Biden made sure he got in there. Okay, they used dead people's names to make sure they got voted in. They found them, and a lot of those ballots that were found, that even the post office is involved, helping the Biden family, making sure that Trump never got in. Okay, I'm not kidding you guys. I'm talking about even Canada. Trudeau messed with our own voting business because he himself was there. I got a photograph of him inside the building, okay, messing with the freaking votes, the cards in his hands. Even George Soros was there. He was there. Why were they in the freaking voting machine? Why were they messing with the voting machines? Why was Soros there? George, he has nothing to do with our country, but he was there. Christopher Freeling was there, and there was actually another young Soros, or George Soros' son Jr. was there. Okay, I'm telling you guys, there's photographs proven, because these are from the inside. They've proven that no one has ever, your votes didn't count worth a crap, because the Freemasons were the ones that said, okay, this is who's next, gets to be in here. There was only three people that did get in, and they screwed the Freemasons royally. One, when Trump came in, everyone's believing that Hillary Clinton was going to win. Oh, she's going to win by a landslide. And if you look at some of the older videos, you'll see Hillary Clinton and Bill and Donald Trump's numbers were not even there. Like, it was blank. They didn't put no numbers in there. Like, why was it blank before? And this is when the voting was on. It was blank. Okay. Yeah, it was the Dominion machines. That's where Trudeau, our Canadian country, actually controls the Dominion machines. And Trudeau was there in person with George Soros the day of the voting, the last time we had the last election here in Canada, as well as the same thing happened in the States. There were a couple of Freemason people that were down there, and they're the ones say, well, this is good. Here's what we're going to do. I'm not kidding you guys. This has been proven already. This is proven. I got photographs to prove it, that they were messing with that Trudeau was in the Dominion Center. He should never have been in there, period. Okay? Never been, but he was there. Why would he be there? There's no other politicians there, just him alone. And he was smiling. Like, oh my God, I know I'm going to win. because they told him he was going to win. They told him he was going to win. The Freemason says, okay, now you're next. You're going in. You're taking your daddy's place. Because they knew they wanted Trudeau to be the next person to basically create the Third World War. They wanted Trudeau to actually begin to start the Third World War in Canada. That Canada was going to go to war for the very first time. That we were going to go to war to fight at another country. That was his goal. That was their goal. They wanted us to go out and fight another country. What the hell for? Okay. And that's why we have to be aware of it, folks. We have to make sure if you're going to go in the polls, if you're going to vote, you ask them. You have to ask the scrutineers, is this legitimate? Is this legal? Are you actually going to count these votes? And are these votes going to go to the Dominion? Okay. And are these people are going to be voted legally, legitimately? And if they're not, then we want to know why. Because it's been proven through years and years. Now, the three people that got in at first, like for example, United States, Abraham Lincoln got in because he refused to follow the cabal. The second person got in was I can't remember the actor's name. Blank. He has soft-spoken man. He became president. Okay. He went along with the game for as long as he got in there. He went along with pretend to be that person, but he got in. Then they tried to kill him in the street, but he survived. Then they went after Trump because Trump. Now Hillary Clinton believed that she was going to be the next president because I'll tell you why. Before the election, they made a movie with what's his name? The black actor. What was his actor's name? He played in. He played a California cop. The black guy, what's his name? All of a sudden, blank. He just finished making his fourth movie, the same series. What's his name again? All of a sudden, crap. Let's see here. That would be okay. Who am I looking at here? Yeah, he did the movie 48 Hours, silver screen. Oh my God, what's his name? All of a sudden, I'm blank on him because I haven't seen him do comedies for quite a long time. Eddie Murphy. Yeah, it's Eddie Murphy. This is the one that he did. Yeah. Eddie Murphy did the movie. So, yeah, it'd be Eddie Murphy. Ronald Reagan was the one that was the attempted assassination in the street. Anyways, Eddie Murphy did this movie about a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, before Trump was part of it. And Eddie Murphy he played on character was on Mars. What was that that movie? He was playing on Mars. The character on Mars. What would that be now? Eddie Murphy character on Mars. The movie was called The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Now, in the movie itself, on Mars, they even had robots. Okay, human-looking robots. But here's the crazy part. On Mars, the money that was used, that was going around, they call the cash money. The face on the money was Hillary Clinton. Okay, she was on the money. Now, why would Hillary Clinton be on the money? Because they believed that she was going to be the next leader. And they said before that she was going to be the next president, 21st century. It got changed. It never happened. Now, do you understand? They screwed her good. Trump won because the military made sure that Hillary never got in. They didn't corruptly go after her because she didn't have enough votes. Trump had a lot of votes, but Hillary was trying, her people were trying their darndest to shut down him, that he could not get enough votes because they're saying, oh, she's way above here and Trump hasn't hardly anything at all. I go, like, doesn't make any sense. All these other counties and state lines are saying that Trump is ahead, but they're showing her that she's way ahead of everybody else, and it doesn't make any sense. So when it finally when the military seen that, they went, you can't do that. Boom, and they fixed it, and they swung around, and there you were. Trump did win by a landslide. So that's why that's why Hillary got pissed, because she believed that she was going to be the next president, because the Freemasons told her, you're the next president. Get ready for the Third World War, because she was supposed to be the next person to begin the Third World War against Russia. China and Russia were going to partner together, and we were going to go to war against those two because money was made through the war. And Trump was the peacekeeper, and she did not want, Trump did not, she did not want peace. She wants to make money through the war. That's how she made her millions. And so Trump goes, no, ain't going to happen. I'm the peacekeeper here, and we're going to make negotiations. And he did. He worked alongside with China. He worked alongside with Russia, with Putin and all them. It quieted down. No war, none. How is it? How come Trump was able to change that? Because he knew exactly what to say. He had everything on them that they cannot. And then he just basically said, if you carry on what you're going to do right now, I can expose you, and you don't want to do that. We got bigger things here that are more important. Why are you wanting to look for a war when you should be seeking peace? Work together, stay together. And the thing is that we have just the odd what's left of politicians, and that is Trudeau. Now, the real Trudeau we already know is gone. But this one here, he's supposed to play the role of creating the Third World War, that he wants Canada to go to war. He says Canada wants to go to war. No, we don't. I will never stand beside, I will never follow or stand supporting Ukraine. You know why? Because they are the largest pedo organization in the world. There were 38 silos that were the first thing that Putin went after was 38 silos, and he sent all his military inside, and down inside those silos were children. Those children were hidden inside there by the Ukraine. Why? Because those kids were all Russian children. They were stolen from Russia. Okay. Over 30,000 children were stolen from Russia, and he brought them home. They were stolen from by Zelensky's people, his military. So anybody says, no, it was over 130,000. Sorry, 130,000. So people are saying, oh, well, da 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 da. Or Putin's a bad guy and Zelensky's a good guy. No, swing it around, folks. Zelensky is a fall guy. Zelensky is the nephew of George Soros, who is an investor in war. Soros is a brown shirt for Hitler. He has always been a brown shirt for Hitler. He's been following Hitler's regime for generations since he was a young youth in the Second World War. He's been doing that from the beginning. Anybody that follows the Soros family, he's also the one that helped create. He actually didn't help. He created Black Lives Matter. He created it, and then he handed the matter to the African American people, and he had 4. Now I'm not going to he's just handed to 4 African American women who were also corrupt, that he paid to do what he wanted them to do, and they created the Black Lives Matter. Now, people forgot what Black Lives Matter meant, but they twisted it so much around that they said that they had a major hate for all races, and then the black were superior, and slavery and blah, blah, blah. Like they made it so big, like it was so huge, and then they decided to bring in Antifa, and Soros also created Antifa people. And he created these Antifa people, and he actually paid them $15 an hour. He would get his people to actually use Craigslist to offer people to get a job to work as shit disturbers, carrying baseball bats and placards and wearing masks, like banners, bandanas, whatever have you. We're all black clothes, and just go out there and cause trouble and burn places. He wanted to burn things down. Soros wanted to take over all of the United States. He wanted basically to make it where he's in full control. He wanted people to believe that the citizens were mad and they were going to take over the United States. It was supposed to be like another New York, okay? Just like they wanted to create the movie called Escape from New York, where they have Pliskin. Okay, this is what the whole thing was supposed to be about. That was Soros's dream, was to create another New York, that in that movie, where the city would be closed off and all the people would be living in the city on their own, and just that was it. You got your one group of people shut off, close off the rest of the world, and they're called districts, and this is what they call 15-minute cities. Okay, this is what their goal was, to create 15-minute cities. They're trying to create the same thing of blocking off with districts. If you look at the movie, the 9th district, okay, that was the same, based under the being people that are robots or people that were with half robots and half human. They were trying to get people to follow the same way of living, that you would barely have no value, and then there's people that would get hired to be told what to do. And again, this is what the whole thing was about. This is what this whole world was going to be like, folks, by 2030. That was their goal, was to control the masses of the world. This is where Soros, there's people above him that he worked with. This is what they're calling the New World Order. Okay, but they had to create the name New World Order through a wrestling organization, WCW, which the guy who owned the company, he himself, made that name, the New World Order. He made that group called the New World Order. So they think that those are your heroes. But those guys were playing the bad guys for a while, and then they played the good guys after. Meantime, the word New World Order was okay. That word was okay to be used. That saying, oh, this is the New World Order. Now, we had the New World Order because every politician, most presidents, not Trump, but every other president, you got your Bush, you got your Obama, you got your Clintons. They all said in all their narratives, introduction, they kept on saying, this is the beginning of the New World Order. The beginning of the New World Order. That wording came out. The first man that said this beginning of the New World Order was Walter Cronkite back in 1969. He said this is the beginning of the New World Order. And he said that he says, if it takes the devil to make it happen, then I'm with the devil. And that's what he said. Walter Cronkite was the beginning and used the wording that this is the beginning of the New World Order. I've got the video of it. Okay. So all of this is happening, folks. This was happening, but it got changed. Why? Because Trump knew this is where the time travel happened. This is where people went back in time and said, we're going to fix this. And we're going to change it up. That's why we shifted from that old earth into the new earth. And we shifted from the Lionsgate portal in through the whole new beginning of refreshing ourselves and saying, you know what, we don't have to hang on to the past anymore. We need to move on. We need to move ahead. We need to be happier and healthier and more financially stable. We have a better life. So this is what we're having right now. All these things have begun to work now for us. The ports are now changed over to blockchain now. Pretty well. Yeah. All I understand, my understanding, folks, that I'm not worried about the money part, because no matter whatever people are following, the work I'm doing, mine is to protect people. Okay. Then there's people who are into the financial part of it. They talk about the new financial gain, new money coming in. That's going to happen. Yes. Our cash will eventually change, but it won't be the corporation cash. They're going to change the new cash, but they make it gold and silver looking cash. They're going to make it look like gold. It looks really, really good, folks. You can wait till you see the cash. It's beautiful, beautiful money. and they cannot. And the money itself cannot be replicated, and never will be replicated. They can't replicate it. Um, like as far as nobody can forge it. This is very well made material. The money we have right now here in Canada is called duck money, not duck like as in DUCK. It's called duck, which is DUK, and it's you can't the money won't get wet. So when people always laugh to say when you launder your money, they used to say we used to wash the money, which in the States used to wash the money to clean it up because they always had some of that blue stain from the banks when they rob it, whatever have you, and they wash it and then they can iron it and then they would reuse it. Well, the money we have here in Canada, it looks like monopoly money. But reason why, because you use different colors of money, is to confuse the people, but also to show people, not confuse people, more like they're trying to make it more vibrant that you can enjoy holding the cash in your hand and not just show just green. And why would your money be green? They used to use that famous phrase, here's some green. Well, of course, there was green cash. But people sometimes will say, you have to check your money. Well, here's a 1, here's a 2, here's a 5, here's a 10, 50 or $100. But they're all green. Now, what they're doing now today, even including the United States, all your money is going to be like our money. It's going to be the same money all across the world. Not one thing is going to change above or below the other. Every value of the money is going to be equal to everybody all over the world. No lesser and no more. Okay? So that particular part of the stock market is no longer going to say, well, Canadian money is going to be worth less than American money, or your gasoline. You go to the station, people used to go across the border thinking their gas is going to be cheaper across the border than it is here. Yeah, now it is. Yeah. But when that happens after the 5th of November, you're going to notice that every gas station across the world is going to be the same. Okay. No higher, no lower value. No more liters. We may lose the word liters. We're going to get back the gallons. Okay. We're no longer following any European freaking control crap. Okay. Money bills, Australia, are a form of plastic of various colors. Yes. Thank you, Nikki. So we have the same thing here. We have the same various colors. So again, it's going to be, sometimes they call it the euro dollar. They may call it something else. I don't know. But we're not going to lose the money, the cash itself. The original old cash will be gone, yes. The coin will still have. They try to get rid of the penny. Or Canada, they try to get rid of the penny. Why? Because the people were using copper. The people that were homeless were stealing the copper wiring and under the buildings and stealing copper piping, and they were taking it to the metals a metal dump, and they're making money by the weight of the metal. Well, that won't happen anymore because the copper will come back again, and it'll again always have value. Copper today right now is worth 5 cents. One penny is worth 5 cents in Canada. And then the copper has gone up. Now, most copper since 1984, before 1984, copper is pure copper. The copper we have, copper coin now, even including the United States, if your copper is after 1984, it's got 20% nickel in it. So it's not completely full copper. Now that's why people call it the copper. Copper had great value. So see, the thing is, even years ago, it used to be that your dime was the size of a nickel, and your nickel was the size of a dime, even smaller. They changed that around. In fact, your nickel was a little bit larger than even a quarter. So I remember seeing the old coins. Everything got changed around. Then you had your silver dollars. Silver dollars used to be around back in the 60s and 70s, a long time, 80s maybe. And silver dollars were around, and people loved this. They use the word silver because they were made of silver. Okay. But now they're just made of a specific type of metal, but they're not always made of completely silver. This is all going to change. We're going to have silver coin, gold coin. We're going to have everything that's coming out as valued. It will be there. Okay. So like Linda says, yeah, perfect depiction of the Hunger Games. This is what their plan. This is what Bill and Hillary Clinton's world would have been like. We would have become the depiction of the Hunger Games. And this is basically what their goal was, to create a district on all of us, that we would not been able to travel anywhere past a 50-minute area district. And if we did, we have to have a permit to do it. And we're not allowed to drive a fueled traveled vehicle. It would have to be an e-car, and also limited time distance. That means if you want to travel a certain distance and go somewhere, visit someone, and if the government did not want you to go very far, they can turn off your car and you can't go very far. You're screwed. This way here, if you have a gas powered vehicle, your government cannot turn off your car because it's gas powered vehicle. You guys get it now? That's what their goal was to do, was to control you where you travel, control you what you've had. They wanted to control your credit. Okay. They want to control what you are what you are valued at. Anything that you wanted to do or hold or buy or purchase or even to have in life, they want you put you on a credit score. Okay, just like China. China's on a credit score. There are lesser people in population in China. There's millions of people that have died in China during the Big C. Why? Because they refused to help them, and they suffered and starved to death and died in their own apartments. There was people coming in and locking them up from out. There was actually outside forces that were barricading them in their homes and forcing them not to, like they actually put giant bars across their doors and weren't allowed to leave, and they starved to death and died. So it was very cruel in China what they had done. It was horrible. Like, I can tell you stories, folks. It was so cruel that their own government, the military government, did to them. They harmed them and hurt them. And so anybody who was not obedient, they locked them up behind bars, or they took them away, that they could not speak against the government. That was tyranny in itself. That's number one tyranny in the dictatorship. This is why our Justin Trudeau had said, before the real Justin Trudeau was taken away, he said that he actually valued, and he loved the idea how China was treating its own people of dictatorship, that he himself too wanted to be the dictator of our country. He wanted to treat us the same way as they did in China. Guess what? It didn't happen. I watched him get arrested on film. A military officer sent me a video of him being arrested, and they handcuffed him, military. They walked him, shackled him, cuffs and feet, to a plane, a giant military plane. And his father, Castro Fidel, was sitting there was also shackled, big doors, walked him in, and he sat down next to him. They closed the door and he flew off. Okay. Trudeau was gone bye-bye. This one the one we have right now today, he's just an actor. He's not meant to be. This is just anything you see now on TV, folks. This is just a play. It's just a story to get you all worked up, to get angry, to fight against the bad tyranny. That's all they want us to do, to say enough is enough, fight back, because us Canadians, we are the weakest link in all of the countries, because we've allowed everybody to come into our country, foreign workers that they snuck into this country, got jobs, and were given money by the federal government, by Trudeau, handed over $25,000 cash and say, here, live. And what do? They start bringing in their certain religions, and they were hurting people. They were like, when Trump was talking about, keep an eye on your dogs and cats, that's what they were doing. These people from other countries, they were killing dogs and cats to get food. That was their way of food, not just food, but they would use them as sacrificial use. I'm not kidding you. This was a beginning of them coming in. Now, someone said just recently, if Trump's supposed to be the commander in chief, then why is he allowing them to get away with it? You have to be the witness to see what's really going on. He's not stopping because you have a second president. Why is Joe Biden allowing this to happen? Joe Biden said, in his own words, was, I'm not going to rescue you. You have to get your vaccination. Once you get your vaccination, then I'll talk to you. Why is he saying that? Because they're trying to get you to distract you, to make you believe that it's that He's in control. The basement man is not in control. Okay. So, Hurricane Helen, horrible. What happened in the States where okay. Why are we having so many hurricanes? Those were made by DARPA. Okay. They're made by the bad guys. And sometimes the hurricanes were meant to be there for a reason, was to basically shut down even more tunnels, because there's still a few more tunnels left underground. Some areas that had to get cleaned up, and it had to take some major cleaning up, because some of these underground tunnels were so deep underground. There's tunnels under tunnels under tunnels. So the hurricane would swing itself inside, under, and inside and under and inside, and it would rock and shake, and those people had to escape. So they're gone now. That's why it's not as much was on top of the earth; it was underneath the earth. Yeah, things are really truly wicked. If people really knew what was going on behind closed doors, they would be deeply horrified. You're right, Nikki. The thing is, we are going through, let me explain to everybody, in case you guys don't understand. We've gone through over 200 to 300 years worth of, even more. I was told actually 18,000 years of slavery. But as far as Canada and the United States, we've gone through 300 years worth of slavery. We have been under, or sort of since 1776, we've been under that slavery gun, including Canada. We've all been under that. Canada joined the slavery picture right after 1776. It became a corporation. Before that, it wasn't a corporation. Okay, it was truly a United States of America. It was truly freedom, fighting for your freedom. Same with Canada in the War of 1812. Actually, anything before 1812 with us, we had our freedom. After that, it was no freedom. We lost that freedom because the Americans, the British, were in control of the U.S. as well as Canada. And here's the crazy part, folks. You just think about it, a little tiny dot called an island called Britain. And then you have a big, huge chunk of land, saying the size of my hand, called North America. How is it that this little tiny finger of mine, okay, goes over here and takes everything away? Because we let them. And why do we let them? Because we thought that they were going to be here to live here and to work here and to have a life here and to have fun here, to look forward to a new future and migrate to a new land. It never happened. What it was, their goal was to take over and to control the masses. And that mass control got bigger and bigger to the point that they lost sight of what Canada, United States, and the rest of the world was about. The British kept on invading. Why do you think? And also Britain was also working alongside of it, Italy, and the Romans were working with the Britain for the longest time. They were invading lands as well, so going on for centuries. Then you had the Moors, and the Moors or the African farther. These guys here took white slaves. White slavery came in picture long before black slaves. White slavery became a picture, and they are actually. You ever heard of the men being taken and the women were being taken as slaves? The men were, and they would cut the testicles off the men and make them into slaves. Okay, they would use the women as breeding services by the Moors. They were in control. They were the leader. There was the slave holders. Later on, generations later, the white people started learning how to do the same thing. They said, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to try that now. So this is where it came around. So it wasn't just the fault of the white man beginning. It was the beginning of, and also Saudi Arabia was also doing the same thing. They were doing slave trading for generations, long before the United States ever existed, long before Canada ever existed. Okay, slavery. They've been long before we even existed. But people don't want to pay attention to this true history. All they want to listen to is what's happening today or what happened 150 years ago. No, go further back. Go further back, way back, because that's where slavery began. So this is how generational things began. People need to realize we learn from all those other people where we have become today, where we've become today. So the thing is that what I'm trying to bring up is fighting for your freedom. Speak yourself. Speak through your voice. Stand up with your voice. Like Canada, we're so apologetic. We keep on saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And the Americans actually, they'll tell you, they'll say that you guys give up too quick. You're allowing everybody in here without even checking them out first. Oh yeah, come on, move in. Yeah, come on, here, come on. And you find out later, oh, they're bad guys. Oh, it's okay. Well, if they're bad guys, they're over there, I'm over here. No, that's not okay. We have to really begin to say no. And we need to be like United States. We need to carry our own arms if necessary. If we have to defend ourselves, we have to defend ourselves. Okay, that's why our prime minister here was trying to pass gun laws, not just gun laws. He was not allowing anybody to use crossbows or machetes, like no weapons, and any knife that's more than 6 inches long, again, is considered as a weapon. He want to make that illegal too. So you can walk around with what? Nothing. They're making sure, and also he's also saying too, if anybody breaks into your house and steals from you, then the cops are not going to come in and help you to catch the bad guys. You want the bad guys to take your stuff. Okay, this is what they wanted. They want and the cops even said in Ontario, oh, just leave your keys in the car, let the bad guy steal it. No big deal. But we're not going to be there to stop them doing it. They can have it. Because they want to follow the WEF belief system. Like Klaus Schwab said, give up everything and you'll be happy. No. You don't need nothing, you'll be happy. Bullshit. You know what Klaus Schwab has? He's 6 feet under. He's got nothing now, and we're happy. So, Nikki says even a 3-inch knife here is illegal. Yeah, I know. Really? Your 3-inch knife is actually good for cutting an apple. Now you can't, even apples and if anything large and round in your hand, if you throw an apple at somebody's considered a weapon. Even, this is true, folks. This is an absolute true story. A couple of weeks ago, a lady in Canada was arrested. No, was it Canada? Or I think it was the States. A lady was arrested in the States. And sued by the next door neighbor. She was charged for assault with a deadly weapon. Guess what that deadly weapon was? A water pistol. She was playing in the backyard with her kids with a water pistol, one of those big water guns. And for some reason, the water pistol shot some water across the other side of the yard into the neighbor. The neighbor got nailed with water. What did he do? He called the police. The police came over and arrested her with a weapon, which is called a water pistol. She went to jail. She's now serving time in jail for the water pistol. This is how stupid, and that neighbor wanted to make sure that she was gone. Why? Guess what I found out? The neighbor wanted her land. So he had to find a way to get rid of her. Think about it. Why would anybody want to prosecute? And she went to court, and even the judge judged her and said that's still considered as a weapon. A water pistol, a weapon, water. Because you shot it at the man next door. She didn't shoot at him. The water went over the yard, just like in the air, and the water went over, and it got the neighbor. The neighbor was mad. Oh, I got wet. Considers a weapon. Look it up. I'm not kidding you guys. She went to jail on account of it. Okay, look it up. True story. It's not a people are going like, what? That's how stupid these are. People have taken things so literal. Like I'm waiting for someone to spit at. I mean, I can tell you right now, spitting in our country here in Canada, in British Columbia, it is illegal to spit on a mother and a child. It's illegal to spit on a mother and a child. If there's a woman and a baby, or a woman and a child walking down the street, if someone spits on them, it's 6 months in jail for spitting on them. Now, Why did that law get passed, spitting on them? Because that woman was involved in a church and she had an affair with someone's husband, and the people of the church spit on her, and so they went to jail that spit on her. Now, you remember what people used to do? Oh, how terrible, right? They spit on her. So they made a law. It's illegal to spit on her. Same thing in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's illegal to throw snowballs. If you're caught throwing a snowball, it's 6 months in jail. Why? Because someone put a rock in a snowball and they threw someone a snowball, thought they're not going to get hurt. Snowball should break, right? But because the rock was sharp inside the snowball, that person almost died. And then it became illegal to throw snowballs in Manitoba. Yes, that judge should be disbarred. Yeah, I know that is not considered as a weapon. Illegal jail time in the States. She can sue the city and the neighbor, and the judge considered it a weapon. Color me stunned. I'm telling you, Nikki, this is the most ridiculous things they've ever done. Let's see. Linda says, in your explanation, water gun incident, will there be justice in the near future to undo and correct all this stupidity? Yes, there will be. Okay. Yeah, kids create ice balls. I mean, kids are funny. I mean, I used to make snowballs and throw too. We never put rocks in ours, but some people, I mean, I remember, oh, let's go to Halloween. It's coming up, guys. Okay, Halloween's the end of this month. When I was a kid in the 60s, someone started this idea that they're going to put razor blades inside of people's apples. And every mom and dad, or pins, they put safety pins, not safety pins, but regular pins, like they use for sewing, put a pin inside of a candy or an apple, whatever have you. Of all the years that I remember, and our parents used to get freaked out, my mom and dad would make sure that us kids never were able to eat an apple yet. Mom would double check, dad would triple check, making sure not one apple had a razor blade in it. I never seen so many parents cut up all their apples and make a lot of apple pies and freeze them. Not one child was allowed to eat an apple directly from the apple itself, because back in the mid-1960s or late 60s, they made it ill that you weren't even allowed to eat an apple because they had people believing that there was razor blades inside of apples. But it never, ever happened. But people make up stories, they put them into the news media, and everyone freaked. Then someone would start over this idea that people are going around with needles, like insulin needles. Not insulin, but they would put a drug in it, and they're walking up to kids, and they're telling the kids, be careful where you're walking. If you're if someone actually you don't know walks up to you and nails you in the leg with a needle, then you're going to be higher than a kite, and you may end up in the hospital. They make up stories to get parents all freaked out. Okay, I'm bringing up the subjects, yes, but these are the things that have been going on for generations. Straight pins, thank you, Nikki. And so it's been going on, right? Oh, geez, I remember that. Yeah, 70s in Seattle, razor blades and straight pins. Yeah, and it's been going on. Not one person ever had an apple or a straight pin in an apple. Not one that I've ever heard of. Now, mind you, fireworks, different story. Okay, people take out fireworks, and guys I've seen hold on to a firework and they lose their fingers. Boom. Well, hey, stupid ass, you held onto a firework and you lose your fingers. That's your problem. But the thing is that no one's ever gotten hurt by throwing a firecracker or fireworks inside some kid's bag of candies. Never heard that before. Now, mind you, I'll bring that up. Somebody else is going to do it, but I hope it don't. But the thing is that that's been ongoing stuff. I mean, you hear these stories. It gets crazier and crazier all the time. Halloween's coming, okay? And they'll probably tell the story all over again. The only biggest thing right now happens is that when Halloween happens now, fireworks is nuts. People go crazy over fireworks, and I've never seen so many dogs end up having psychological breakdowns. And sometimes they'll even try, and even dogs will actually try to commit suicide. They'll actually walk into if the fireplace is burning, and I advise you people, if anybody has a fireplace, a live fireplace with fire, you do not have a fireplace running when the fireworks are going during Halloween, because your dog most time will get psychologically messed up. They will run into the fire and they'll burn themselves because they're afraid of the explosion, the sound of the explosion. It will freak them out. They have psychological breakdown. One of my friend's dogs had a border collie, and she kept, every time they had fireworks, every Halloween or any celebration, she'd get freaked out and she'd walk right into the live fire into the fireplace, and he had to grab her by the tail real quick to get her out because they get mesmerized by the noise and it just makes them go real crazy. Yes, Nikki says the White House is going to be blown up. Yeah, Nikki says yes, it made local newspapers and a regular TV news regarding razor blades and straight pins and apples. 1976 or 77, I believe. Parents were terrified, and it happened in the mid 60s as well, 10 years before. I mean, I was a kid. I was running around back in 64, 65 when we were going around, going house to house with our pillows, cases, and we're getting candies. Kids today don't get candies like they used to. And when I was a kid, we'd go home with 3 or 4 big, huge bags full of candies, candy apples, you name it, homemade meals, homemade stuff. I mean, it was a lot of candy. The kids today, hardly anything compared to what it once was. So it's people today are not what it used to be. They're not as giving as it used to be for the kids to help them out. But do it in a kind way. Don't try to be mean and hurt them. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it does happen. It has happened to people. So dogs get psychologically messed up when they hear the sound of fireworks, and they'll get, most time they'll run into a fire. If they see, even if outdoors, if they are afraid of explosives, you basically either you dope up your dog or put your dog somewhere in a car where it's safe and lesser noise, but you don't leave them outdoors if there's any kind of noise, because your dog will walk, most of them, if they're afraid of explosions, they'll walk right into a fire. For some reason, it screws up their equilibrium. They head right for the flames. I've seen it happen. It's not good. Let's see here. Are or will Monsanto GMO seeds be taken off the market soon? It already has. Genetically modified GMO seeds have been taken off the market already. The only thing that's left is Monsanto. Just don't buy anything from Monsanto. If they're still doing it, just don't bother touching their stuff. Look for the word organic and free range seeds. But trust the name brands of the companies that have been around for. Look for the name for the amount of years they've been doing it, right? Because there's some well-known businesses or companies like mom and pop businesses have been doing it for generations for your seeds. And start collecting your seeds, folks, because Monsanto made sure they took the female seed out, so all you have is the male. There's a male in the office or whatever, yeah, male seed, because basically they've been cutting the male female seed out, so that's why it grows weird, because it doesn't have both balances of the seed. Our taste of our food and fruit is not the same anymore, because they took the taste of the male female seed nurtured from it, because the Monsanto makes sure that you didn't have it. They want to be in control of it. There are people out there in England, for example. It's mostly England and France, Europe. They're the ones that actually they've been collecting seeds for hundreds of years. There's actually a person, some guy I know of, or did know of. He actually used to collect seeds, and he would collect flower seeds of all sorts, for years, years and years and years. And it actually went to two, three generations and families. But he had thousands upon thousands of seeds in these little wooden boxes. And everything's labeled. And they shows a picture of the flower, the item, what it is. And his family's been collecting them for years. There's some of the plants have never existed for many, many generations before. He's got those seeds, and they're actually working on bringing those all back again. So it's going to be interesting. On the farm, we all got together with neighbors and had a bonfire, sang songs, and had hot dogs and hamburgers and marshmallows and roasted nuts. Okay. Hope you didn't eat the farmer's roasted nuts. Okay. That's a joke. Heirloom seeds. Sorry, got mixed up. Yeah. Make sure your seeds are heirloom, are well-known yeah. So Nikki goes, territorial seed based out of Oregon has been pretty good. Yeah, you'll know. I mean, myself, I've been collecting vegetable seeds and fruit seeds, and I put them in my packages and use them. So I've been collecting my seeds, even especially if you want to get sweet potatoes. You want to do sweet potato seeds and um, peppers, the most common ones that you use all the time. You can um, garlic cloves. Onions are easy to grow. Not so hard to grow here. There's different varieties of onions, garlics. What else? You'll know. Strawberries. The hardest to grow here in BC is rhubarb because their dirt's different. Rhubarb grows very, very well in Alberta. Oh my God, like leaves are huge. So, okay. Chantel says, how do you handle anxiety issues in dogs with fireworks? Um, Talk to your vet, and sometimes what they'll do is they'll give a dog, they'll give you a couple of little pills to calm the dog down while this actually happens. And it doesn't dope them up that they can't walk. It just helps them relax so they don't feel they're out of it. Or I could get, like I said before, you can keep them in the house where it's quiet, soundproof, just for that night while the fireworks are happening, so they're out of the, so they won't get harmed. The only way you can do it, whatever's best for safety for them. Keep them, plenty of water. Some people put their dogs in cages, depending on what it is. Just make sure they're okay. If they really have anxiety issues, then give them something where they can not harm themselves, but they'll do fine. I'm not saying every dog does that, but I had a Shiba Inu, and her first experience of fireworks when she was a puppy, and she was always freaked out ever since. So we always had to make sure that we had to get her, we had to get a pill for her to calm her down, or we would actually crank the music up in the house while the fireworks are running. Or if we had a movie, we'd have movies going on all day. So if there's any firework going in the house, we just crank the music up or movies and make sure that it's overpowering the sound of fireworks. And then she's fine because she knows the sound of TV and radio or music, but the fireworks itself is what did the damage. I would say music, So we have 11-month-old puppy. Why I'm asking, I would say crank the music up. If you like to play music in your house, when they're starting doing the fireworks, crank the music up in your house and let it play all day. Something you like the most, and the dog will be fine because that's all you need to do. I did that, and my dog was fine. Never bothered her. She listened to the music, or I would actually. There's a channel on TV where you can listen to all kinds of music. Just cranked it up loud enough where it's like not like a concert, but just loud enough where you can overwhelm a little bit above the fireworks. And I've had people where they actually were doing fireworks at about 2 or 3 in the morning. So, but they're not supposed to. They're supposed to stop at midnight, but some people are still doing it after 2 or 3 in the morning. So that got stopped. But most of the people here in BC is mostly East Indians, South Asians that use more fireworks than anybody else, really. They love their fireworks. I mean, I'm not against but their culture loves fireworks. I don't know where that came from. I don't think they even use fireworks in their own country. But I guess they got caught. Like, they loved it, so they got caught. They caught on, got using it. They do a lot of celebrations. I mean, they go big. When they do celebrations, their guru days, they go big. Bigger than anybody, really bigger than any concerts I know of. These guys are huge. But and they're fun. I mean, they're fun to go to see some of the events they do. But yeah, music is better. Yeah, so if you don't want to drug up your dog or cat, just play music. The animals love it. People love it. So you're pretty well leveling all down. No problem. But even sometimes some vehicles have backfires. I've heard people actually have some backfire vehicles, especially the monster trucks. People have seen. I've actually someone I know who lives in a park here has a monster truck and drives by once in a while without us knowing that he's got it on, and he literally would he cranked it up and driving by our place, and it went boom, and I went, oh no, my cat's gone. Backfire, and they're gone back room. So my dog now has passed away, but I got my two cats, and they just like when here backfire, they're gone. They hide under the bed. At least they're cats, not dogs. But there are a few dogs in people's houses that one dog kept on every time he heard explosions, he would actually try to ram his head into a window, like into the door, like the screen, the glass doors. He was just hitting himself because he just didn't want to hear it. He was hitting him. It was hurting himself. So I tell people, if you know there's fireworks, if you're going to be away somewhere, if your dog's at home, crank the music up while you're gone, because it's the only way you're going to stop that from happening, and the dog won't get freaked out. Just crank it up. In fact, it'll make the neighbors believe that you're still there, or anybody who doesn't know that you think you're not there. Just do that. Yeah. So, yeah, it happens. People go through it. Heidi says fireworks in town goes crazy on Halloween. Before Halloween, try weeks before Halloween. Try Canada Day. Lots of Halloween going on. Happy New Year too. And yes, they do them later, 2 a.m. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they're because people are hanging around. They want to use up all the fireworks what's left, and sometimes people will hang on for. They'll save some for maybe 2-3 days later and do it again, or a couple of weeks later and start doing it again. See if they can get away with it. They can't. There is a bylaw. There is a law. It's illegal to use fireworks if you don't have a permit. It has to be on specific days, but you have to have a permit. You can't do it freely. Nobody can grab his fireworks and do this here in BC. You have to have a permit. You have that parental. How old need to be now? Count the kids. It's supposed to be over 18 or 19. Yeah, parental supervision. I think it's over 18, 19. Or you can't do it. You can't use explosives or fireworks. So, okay, Linda says, can you give us some uplifting future predictions to take us through the week? Yeah. Future predictions. Let's see here what's coming up. What's rolling around? There's going to be some major arrests. We're looking at about 3 politicians that will be arrested. It will come to the point of them being arrested here in Canada. We may be looking at Alberta, the province of Alberta, splitting up from Canada. We may end up becoming its own country. By the premier, the premier of Alberta. She's not wanting any type of sprays flown over the skies above Alberta. Plus, also she's not accepting any more or allowing any more snake bites to apply to anyone in the province. If anybody tries to bring it up in any hospitals or communities, they're going to say, you're done, you're fired. Okay, fireworks in town go crazy. Halloween before. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Robert. Oh, Robert White. There we go. Nice to you. It's nice to see you, sir. So there's as far as I could see, there's going to be what I was told or shown. There's going to be some more UFO sightings, and they're prevalent. I mean, really prevalent, flying across Canada as well as the United States. You guys are going to start to see them more, and they'll be hovering above the skies. Now they look like UFO ships, but may not be made of like flown by these guys, so to speak. They'll probably flown by us, our people, military wise. They because they've been replicated, they've been reversed built. So whoever had those particular ships in the beginning, since 1940s, they basically did the same thing, built their own ships. They've been that way for quite a few years. And so it's hard to tell, but you're going to start seeing them showing up more. And the ones that are from another extraterrestrial system, you'll start seeing them actually show themselves more in this region, especially in the White House. There's supposed to be one coming to be levitating above the White House. I think they're probably going to pick up Joe Biden. You're done. Take him. Grab what's her name. Gone. There's going to be some major arrests in politics, and I will say that. And when it comes forward, as of this coming within a week to 2 weeks, major changes. There is going to be a fear mongering of fear, making people believe, or they're going to try to use the idea that we're going to war, third world war. They're going to try to play the word nuclear. These are just code words, folks. They're not. We will never go into third world war. It's ridiculous if it is. We don't have to. We're not. Who are we going to go to war with? Israel right now, and those guys there. That particular. All those bombings and stuff actually happened 3 years ago. So you're seeing a lot of movies and reviews of what happened 3 years ago. So people are thinking that happened just yesterday. It didn't. It happened 3 years ago. They're just making you believe that they're in trouble. That will get cleared up very soon, within a week or two. So because Trudeau wanted us to go down to Israel and fight there too, like send our soldiers down there and go get killed. Like, why? Dumb. Like, he's like dumb. Like, you're an idiot. What else? You can, Nikki. You can call in 360-566-2875. 360-566-2875. Okay, here. 360. Call right in. Love to hear from you. Okay. And what else is there? They're still doing some more cleanups. They're talking about Hawaii. That's going to be talked about this coming week. Luana, Hawaii, that'll be talked about. They're going to fix that area. You'll start hearing stories about children being brought home that were lost, that's supposed to have disappeared. They brought back home safely. They were rescued by the military. There's going to be. I'm hoping that we're going to have our EBS, either, if it's not now, it probably late October, but we need to see what's really going on. So, like, basically emergency broadcast system, because basically once all our channels are shut off, internet will be down, phone service won't be down, in the case of emergency service, but basically we'll have one channel. It's still going to happen. We're going to have tribunals, military tribunals. You need to see exactly what really went on. It's going to happen, guys. It's coming. That's who I am. That number is my call-in number for a radio show. Right now, it's what I have right now. So, you're more than welcome to call in to ask questions, guys. Let's see here. Really? Microsoft, you're a bunch of idiots. It won't go through. Microsoft is blocking it again. They're playing games. Hang on. That's my number. Okay. 1 second, guys. Oop. Resume. Okay. Okay. supposed to be a code sent to me, but it's not there. Yeah, that one. Or email it to me, guys. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. Let's fix it. Because for some reason they locked it out. See, this is what happened yesterday when we had the Helen. Even Skype got knocked out. Fixed it. Oh, come on. You're telling me? Really kidding me? Okay, next. Okay, that should work. Okay, that should in. Okay. Okay, you should be able to phone in now, guys. What? Yeah, because what Microsoft did is they blocked it because they thought I was going to get hacked. It's that mark right there. They're worried about me getting hacked. So it's working now. Hello.
There you are. Hello.
There I is.
So I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Do you see me with the knowledge that I've got regarding the ETs and regarding the U.S. military? Do you see me in front of a Congress or congressional skiff anytime in the future? Distant or near?
In front of Congress?
In front of a locked down, what they call a skiff in front of Congress.
Not yet.
Okay. Do you think it will happen?
It's possible. Right now, you're probably looking at a couple of years before all that actually begins to happen. Because right now they are focusing on showing the public about extraterrestrial visitors, us communicating with them, working with them. You may begin to fit into it after, but then they'll have to check you out, make sure where you fit.
Yeah, exactly.
In that category. But I don't see it particularly probably within the next few years when they get to see what you got available, it's going to help.
Yeah, I was wondering even if it's 10 years out from now, because there's so much that needs to take place in the next few years. So,
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I didn't know if that was even, because I've remembered names of, I gotta be careful because live, but I've remembered military personnel names and faces and who they were at the time. And a bunch of information. So I didn't know if that was something that was even remotely a potential.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that I know that that I experienced with extraterrestrial beings. But again, many of us are going to be able to share that. Well, I'll probably end up meeting the guys again, the ones that I was on the ship with down the road. They're going to say, "Here, come on down here, Derek. Here's where we're at." Like, you come for a visit, you come see us. So
Yeah, that's I kind of expect that too.
yeah. Like, here, come on in. We'll come and see you. Let's, we'll show you around again. What else is new? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the first one. The other one is about what I call the book. Are they going to still come after me regarding that damn book?
No.
And I just realized that
No, there's no interest in it yet. They're not going to be looking at it. They're not too. All I can hear the words is the vitals. So if there's something really, really vital that they need to see, they won't review it. They're not going to show any interest in reviewing the vitals until maybe 2-3 years from now. But by that time, you'll be showing them what you got. So it's like as long after, they don't have to worry about anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been pretty heavily targeted, and I just want to kind of crossing my T's, dotting my I's, so to speak.
There's a lot of us that there are people that are actually able to speak to extraterrestrial beings, whether you are in an unconscious state, full conscious state, or you're on the ship physically. And right now, there are no passengers on any ships right now being taken because Trump said, ain't going to happen. Right now, we're too busy with Galactic Station, and they're focusing on taking good care of the children first and then having to worry about people like you and I. They're focusing on one to, let the world get to know us, all of us, and we don't have to show fear. And they're far more relaxed, saying, like it took them. Like, the thing is that back in the 1940s, when there's supposed to be a crash with there's supposed to have been 2 ships actually that crashed, not one. And then one did survive. 1 or 2 guys survived. I think it's supposed to be 2 or 3 guys. 2 or 3 beings did survive, and then someone got stupid and shot 2 of them. And then one survived. Then they brought him into the station or to the barracks, and they interrogated him. But when they interrogated him, there just thought forms happened, and then from the interrogation, he was that one particular being was living there with them, or was there for a long, long time, and he taught them stuff that. But they also said too. They said, "What planet you're from?" He says, "Here, Earth." No, what planet you're from? Earth. And he eventually told them that he was living underground. Their ships are actually built underground. So the bases were underground. They were living on this planet for thousands of years. So here we're looking up, and there are actually people who don't realize we need to look down. When you start seeing these deep, deep caves, deep down underground caves, and hear about underground tunnels, that's where they are. That's where they were. And so Trump sent out, or was his generals now sent out well over 1 million soldiers underground, and a lot of soldiers lost their lives. If you ever see any coffins that are coming out of these military planes with flags on the coffins, these are soldiers that were in action underground. It wasn't just in another country fighting; they were underground fighting and for the freedom of us, for our freedom. So people tend to forget that they've been fighting. That we have already been at war for many years underground, but yet it's not on the mainstream media. It's and yet Trump's not mentioning it. He'll hint it, but he's showing you something. He's telling you something that everything looks. He says it's underground. We need to look underground. That's where his soldiers were, underground. So
well, then you've got the what other people are calling super soldiers, that I just call soldiers because I worked with them.
Well, these soldiers are actually far more stronger, more active, but they're trained that way. But these ones here are how do you explain that one? These group of guys, I'm not going to say. I got to say this: they could be possibly cloned, right?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me because I've got 3 clones of my own that they've used. So, and the only reason I know that is because I woke up consciously in one of them with 9 pins in my legs going, this is not in my body. How the heck did I get here?
Well,
So, you know,
I truly
that was a
think
real
that,
trip.
yeah, well, I truly think also too, I found my sort of like clone. I swore I thought I saw myself meeting myself in this park I live about 3 or 4 years ago, where this guy comes out of the trailer and I'm looking, and he was camping, came out of the trailer. I swear it was me when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
or no, older, and I'm going like, man, you look like me, like we could have been brothers, twin brothers, easily. But I never spoke to him. I just walked by him. But we both look at each other like, like oddly, like you look like us, that's so we are cloned. People are cloned in a different way. You could be replicated. Your DNA could be replicated. Cloning does not mean that you're being made like a typical Captain Kirk in a chunk of mud, and make a spin around. Next thing you know, there he is. This is actually in Star Trek. This is more of a, like, they can take the DNA and they can grow it and they can look like you, has all the and they'll just add the memories in it to make it look as if you are this is who you are. That's what they do. They just they just pull out the consciousness, the copy of it, and they pop it in that person. So that's why a lot of these actors will say, I got a clone, I got 2, or got 3, and but these clones are helping them. They'll sing for them, or they'll act for them, and they're at another location, that part of the world. Then they come back and tell each other what they were doing, what they did. For some reason, their consciousness will say, "Yeah, I was there. Yeah, okay, I know what you did." Or they, I don't know how they do it, but they do. So, but do these clones live with that? These clones live with that person there, or do they just turn off a little switch and say, "Okay, you're not working no more. You're just you're in pause"? I don't know. We'll find out.
They put them in stasis, because I've seen them.
Yeah, stasis. Yeah. So we'll see.
They're put in some kind of stasis, and the ETs use a device over the forehead, but that's beside the point. No, I appreciate you answering. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Thank you, sir. That was it.
Okay. You have a good one.
You too, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Keith says liberals have sent the docs to the RCMP. Documents. Trudeau refuses to hand over the documents. So they say the liberals have sent the docs to the RCMP, but Trudeau, they said today, docs have not been given to the RCMP. So there's saying they did, and then they didn't. But Trudeau apparently blacked out everything. Anything he didn't want you to see, he blacked it all out. You're going to see lots of it, folks. Blacked out. Not pretty. Not pretty. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys being on the program, listening to my banter and sharing some information with them. I hope I'm able to help you this week. Next week, got some very great information coming up. And like I said, all of you out there, folks, please send out a lot of prayers and love. And if you're able to donate to the people that are dealing with the losses of their lives or losses of their homes, if you're in that region, please, if there's any website set up where you can donate to help them out doing some rescue work or whatever you can do, please help them out, because it's important, absolutely important. Because I know I was talking to my friend Mountain Mama. She said that she donated pizzas. She actually went to a store and she bought a whole bunch of food and water and whatever she could do, send them out to all kinds of families that lost their homes and stuff. So it made her feel good. And she's up in the North Carolina region, because it really got hit, majorly hit, and it wasn't pretty. The whole region from Florida all the way down got banged up, folks. It was harsh, absolutely crazy. So, and I know, and you try to do as much as you possibly can to help out. So as much as we can share this. Please like and share me on the YouTube page. Forward this to everybody. Like and share. Also, I'm on my Rumble page. If you find me on Rumble, you can always look up some of the archives. If you don't know, just look on Derek White's Guy Cloud. You'll see my shows. Which is the Shadow Chasing Show, and you'll find lots of archives in there. Follow through. Actually, check them, watch them, and check them off, and say like and share. Also, too, find me on Telegram, and I'm out there, folks. On Telegram, my page is called True North, Strong and Free, and I'm out there. And join up if you're not on Telegram. Get the app, download it, and get out there. I'll pass you on some of the chat rooms that you get to participate, get to know and meet some of these people, like-minded people from all across the world. It's worth your while. This Telegram is a better page, social network page. It's not like Facebook. It's way better than Facebook. You have the freedom to say and do what you want. It's much easier that way. Let's put it this way. There's no Zuckerberg in there. there's no three-letter words that we have, because we already know who actually controls this one, because it's our commander-in-chief is in control of that one as well. Telegram. He controls social. What's called social, True Social, and also too. What else is there? Yeah, good. I think we're good, guys. So I hope you guys had fun. There's my friend back there. This is Alien, one of the guys that I made, my puppet. So I thought I'd bring him in and share him with you and show you what he's all about. We've got some events coming up too. A couple of weeks, I'm doing a psychic fair. I will be on the 19th. You can always find out where I'm at if you're in my region. I got two shows I'm doing. One the 19th of this month, as well as the 26th and the 27th. I'm doing an event there too. So a lot of psychic fairs and healing fairs. I'm trying to do more, trying to get the word out there more, because I've been spending so many years doing powwows, and I've never been out in the other communities for a long, long time. So now I'm making some switches, going like, no, I want to do some psychic fairs. It's been a long time. I haven't done any for a long time. Get back out there and do it. So I'm there. But if you guys are in the region, give me a scream. Come on by. I'll let you know where I'm going to be at coming up, any other events, locations, and it's going to be a lot of fun to do. So we go to each other, guys, talk to guys, and where we go one, we go all. May God be with you all. Take care.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world, we're all alike. So why is it war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time not to stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurts, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live